Happy birthday to DJ Premier. He is 59, 59 years young. This is a generation that I actually had the thought in my head that I do not belong to. Even though like I benefited off of the tail end of the genius from this generation, I do not belong to that. So if it looks like I'm a little old or trapped in the 90s or something like that and I'm part of a time that's not mine, you have to excuse me because the time that came after was whack as fuck. I mean, was whack as shit. I mean, was mad boring. I mean, was a bite off. I mean, we would just wasn't as good as those who came before us. We were fighting with y'all to try to make it better. And like we didn't know what we were doing, so much so that we had that influence of OGs coming and telling us what to do and how to do things. And then when it came time for us to take care of it, we crybabied. So yeah, if pardon me if I show a lot of respect and I like talking about whether I get facts right or wrong, but I like to stay in that era because that era seems to be really cool, really dope, really no nonsense, really like the the premise, the not the premise, but just what black is all about. Like how you have an Indian between a certain Indian between like an Indian that is in India. They have differences. They do things a certain way. That's the way you could tell the difference between black people, new black people, bougie black people, and the different dynamics of black. Yeah, and also like group them by the time where you can say like, oh, this group, yeah, we know they was raised right, they got sense. And then you have this group that's like, they didn't care, they knew they were the black sheep. And then that's my generation, the black sheep. And then you have the generation that's like, I don't care, I know everything, and go through that, and we don't have to say anything, you just already know. That would be the Gen X and Gen Z. So what you call it, yeah, I think you guys are the tail end of the 70s babies, the crack era babies, as they said. Yeah, we like you. I like you. I appreciate you guys and what you contributed towards our creative ear to listen musically, and not so much of the businesses that you have, but because we don't know all of them. 9 times out of 10, we're not spending them. You are the generation that taught us how to spend our money and put it back into helping you guys build your businesses with the bootlegs, the mixtapes, the tapes and CDs, CD players, Walkmans, think all of that. Pagers is like before that, but as far as music is concerned, like you guys were the ones who were very determined and focused on how you were going to make money, and a lot of money making schemes and understandings and basic concepts of how to be successful in business came from your generation. You guys really put together a lot that doesn't get acknowledged to this day, that is essential towards this day, and I like to stay in that era. I mean, sometimes like I tend to dress like that era because I mean, y'all style of fashion made sense. Like, why am I going to do so much when I could do when I could do so little and still have the same effect? Why am I going to allow myself to put so much? Why do I give so much of myself out to everybody and I don't give enough to myself? That was taught to me by an OG. Those of you who are in your 60s, going into your 70s, or just making it to your 60s, you guys raised me. Your music raised me. So a little bit. A lot of the music that raised me was really like 80s R&B and maybe a little bit from the 60s. But for the most part, when I had to go outside or when I had to leave my house, or the influence that I had around me was from your generation. And so your generation, as I always speak, was the generation that I aspired to be because you guys were 20s, in your 20s in the 90s. And in the 90s, I was about 9, 10, 8 years old and looking like I can't wait to do that. Now, the long fingernails and the extra style and fashion, no, I didn't get to see any of that. But being in East New York, growing up in East New York in Brooklyn, and seeing all that when I came home from school, when I was just looking off the terrace and seeing what y'all were doing or hearing the conversations y'all were having, or eavesdropping on the conversations you guys were having. It made an influence with me. And although I may not remember or didn't ask any questions back then to know anything, what I see now, I can draw connections between what I know growing up, what happened, what I remember hearing, things that sound familiar, and today's day and age. And I go to a lot of you guys' events. If any event that I do go to when I go outside, it's a lot of events that are catered towards your generation. And they be dope as, you know, because y'all have something going on. Y'all have substance. We have artists from y'all generation that people know about or don't want to know about on a low, that are able to take the stage and relive and live the dreams that they've had to be a star within their communities, within their neighborhoods. It's funny because it's DJ Premier's birthday, right? And DJ Premier is like what, a legend in his own right. Like when it comes to production, when it comes to working with people, when it comes to gatekeeping, everybody always mentions his name because he never took that option to not help people. I think that's one of his own quotes. And here I am highlighting more of the contribution that the generation that he belongs to has done for me, the generation that came 20 years after. And y'all be so mad. Y'all be so mad to sit there and say, like, you don't belong here, or you criticize me being old school about it, not realizing that I'm I know I don't look all that good, but I do my best to try to just fit in with that. If my fitting in reminds you of that generation in any way possible or gives you a nostalgia, then I have done what I was put out here to do. I have done exactly what I've been put out here to do. If I comment on anything that you have, then your first response is, this is mad old. And I think that is really cool. Like you should feel so much, you should just feel good. You should just feel so good about yourself and what you were able to bring for the time, because we didn't bring anything. We brung mustard beats in different tempos and harmonics. We had a lot of fun stuff. Like we had the belts that went, the pre 2K, the pre 2K belts. I mean, we had the little the Flintstones jewelry going on, the plastic Flintstones jewelry, so to speak, going on. I mean, we was okay. We were a little bit fun. We had the big, shaped eyebrows going on. You guys had tattoo eyebrows where that will live forever. Okay. We had the different square tip nails. You guys had, no, we had the claws, or maybe we had the short square tips. You guys had the actual press on joints where you can actually put them on and they be good. And your Asian lady knew what she was doing when she was doing your nails. You actually had manicures where y'all made clear nail polish popping because y'all took care of y'all nails so much, so very well. Yeah. Y'all had bangs. Y'all had bangs. I grew up with a bang in my head growing up. I always had a bang. If I didn't have a bang, it was like weird. I had a big old forehead. Okay, y'all had bangs. The generation after had the part down the middle, which became the path of the whore path, something like that, because it was a permanent part that never closed up. What else did you have? Y'all had dance hall, as far as, because me growing up, we had, your generation had like the bogle. We had the bogle. That was still, we have to give it to y'all though. The bogle, the pepper seed, the heel toe, uh what it was it called? The dip. We had what you call it? All the hand games. Like that came on the tail end, that I could say is a part of my generation a little bit, but then like died out really fast. But you guys had it first. You had the hand games first. You had the Miss Mary Mats. You were remixing Miss Mary Matt into rap songs. You guys put poetry, you guys made poetry something to be talked about in school. Okay, iambic pentameter. You guys syntax and things of that nature. You made it something to be talked about. Your generation is really has attributed to a lot of things that make up the world. not black culture, but the world. And when you look at what's going on in today's day and age, and you see like the educational department is diminishing, is because our generation, the one that came after you, we knew everything. We knew how to do everything. You came and asked us how to do the computer, and we just went and boom, 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 and did all of that. And we didn't. It was like, what did you just do? I don't know. So we're the generation that knew everything. So what is it that we can give? Not only that, but I've often heard that the generation before you, the generation in their 80s, are like, whatever we put out into the world, they will never be able to do it ever again. And then your generation was like, all right, watch what happens. And then somewhere between after you guys, the 60s, those of you in your 60s, and those of us who are in our 30s going into our 40s, we are on some like, got any threes? Go fish. We just like, all right, y'all not gonna do nothing, fine. I'm gonna do me. And we adopted the rules of the 48 laws of power. And we were able, let me try to find something to highlight with us. We were able to find different things to keep something that was ours to ourselves, because we may have indirectly saw that when you were able to keep something for yourself, nobody could touch you. Nobody could like, no one could take it away from you. And the only way we would be able to do that is if we kept it to ourselves, didn't say anything, and just were like, boop, where you were like, how did you do that? We are the generation of the how did you do that moments, where we still today are able to do that. But it's very hard because nowadays we're fighting a generation that's always asking questions. How did you do that? And what did you do? And trying to be sneaky about finding information on how to do things, because we're fighting a generation that really doesn't know how to do anything, because they have to be shown something on a fundamental side when it comes to technology. And we have to either be the ones to show them, do it for them, or be like, nah. But we learn, but in my experience, in my opinion, I think that we can give a lot of those teachings, basic teachings, to the generation 20 years before us. That our music may never be as great as your music. You have classics that if only people went into the dug in the crates and really listened to, they can then bring back to life the word revitalize, if you want to say that. I'm happy to expose whatever words come to mind, because I've always been known that whatever's on my mind, to get it out. Although I'm getting old in age, I forget words. So whatever it is that I hear, I'm gonna let you know, because like what, um, your generation was a generation that allowed us to learn on our own. We ended up having to learn on our own. And you guys had the conversations with us that you so very much enjoyed having, because we kept you alive. Our generation kept you alive. So again, our music may not have been the best. We had a lot of boy groups, boy bands. We had Backstreet Boys. We had a lot. The pop era would not have lived if it wasn't for my generation. But you guys in your 60s to your 80s, 60s and under, 65 and under, you guys you guys are the goats. To me, my opinion, you are entitled to your own opinion. You guys are the goats. And here's the biggest goat there is when it comes to music. Go and try to find a song that doesn't have a premier beat to it, or it doesn't have a premier influence. Now, although the history and some back and forth that has to do with premier can be for argument's sake, but at the end of the day, this man continues to get acknowledged for his works and the things that he's done. And if you were in a position to have rubbed shoulders with this man, sat at the table, break bread, and do all of that, there is no reason why you are not getting the same accolades on your own terms. Due to the I guess consistency. Again, here I am on a Friday night talking to you guys, still can't get my Serato back up, and I'm just gonna leave the Serato alone when it comes to doing this. Um, and finishing what I started. What have you started that have you what have you started that you've yet to finish? Where you too can enjoy celebratory posts on Facebook, Instagram, and in real life, or on a humble level, on a big scale. Like, what are you doing as opposed to being upset about something? Okay. The the caption reads, and let's just first say happy birthday to DJ Premier. The caption reads, a lot of smiles about 59 years of life. I'm sure it's not going to be long as I clicked it. All praises to the Most High and all my loved ones. I will keep going. And yes, you will. Because number one, you're not going to stop because you can't stop because it's just you. It's in you. And you made it. You did it. You made it. You got it. And you can do whatever you want with it. That's number one. And number two, yes, you deserve all the praise and all the flowers while you're here. So we won't gloat on Premier because although I'm entitled to give my opinion, I am not of the higher upper echelon to be giving him that praise. But to be on this level and have it be posted that this is something to say to add on to others who may or may not give him his flowers, happy birthday. And again, for 20 minutes, less than 20 minutes, let's say 15 minutes. Yes, I must give all praises due to this generation. And if you haven't heard Furious 5 or Nikki D or Wanda D or who else? What's it? Super Rhyme. If you never heard the Adventures of Super Rhyme and you can't, try to cut that up, sample it, remix it, and get everything going, make sure you pay these people because they're still here. I mean, that's a lot of music that you could be putting together that's based in this generation that is partially the foundation of what made this man who he is, plus the other legends who are out there and do what they do. What I'm saying is leave the 90s music alone and like take it back a little bit more because you skipped a whole generation. I mean, they did it. When you hear their music, they did it. They already, cut into beats. I have not played this video yet.